Welcome back into the Sports Source. I forgot we didn't open with a mini open there. You almost see me giving fingers to the director there. Going to be quick here, quick slants. Mike Strange, Bob Hodge, you get this first question. Peyton Manning will get the start. It's already been named. He'll get the start next weekend when the banged-up Pittsburgh Steelers go to Denver for the playoff game. But did Gary Kubiak make the right decision? Should Peyton Manning get the start against Pittsburgh next week?
I'm going to go with
And prepare to have your house burned down if you get the wrong answer.
And they might as well come with the pitchforks and no, I would not have started Peyton Manning next week. And it all goes back to something I heard the week before from Marshall Faulk. And Marshall Faulk said, if the Denver defense or offense comes out and struggles, do you go from Manning to Osweiler? Okay, how's that going to fire anybody up? But if you've got Peyton Manning there, then you've got somebody to come in and rejuvenate your team, give them something, give them some hope. So I would have probably gone with Osweiler. Plus his numbers were better.
You got the greatest quarterback of all time that can come in and save the day off the bench like he did last week. What do you do, Mike?
Well, I was talking to Kevin Falk last week, and he said Manning. He said you start Manning because if you got Peyton Manning on your roster and you got this young guy on your roster, you got to go with Peyton Manning because if nothing else, if you don't and lose, you'll be second guessed for why didn't you start Peyton Manning?
2 nights ago, I was watching Peter Falk.
Okay. Let's go to the nice. Let's go to the numbers here. Manning versus Osweiler. Osweiler's are better, and the key. Look at the quarterback rating; is huge, but the key is the touchdown to interception ratio. Manning still leads the NFL in interceptions, and he missed 6 weeks. So if it's me, and then there's a number at the bottom there, and we all know this. Peyton Manning is just 2-6 at home after a bye in the divisional round. That's when you were one of the top 2 teams in your division, in your conference. You get the bye, you're 2-6. I would have gone Osweiler. If it doesn't work, bring the sheriff in off the bench.
And have a short hook on Osweiler.
Short hook, yeah. All right. Jimmy and Chuck, this one's for you. The Lady Vols lost to Florida this week, and suddenly the sky began to fall again. Holly Warlick said her players didn't listen to her. That's not a good thing to be saying. So is the Lady Vols program in decline, or is it a flat line? And by flat line, I don't mean dead. I simply mean kind of treading water. Decline or flat line?
I'm going to go with your treading water, and I think part of it is injuries have really hurt this program with some key players that they can't get on the court. And I'll also say this, the Lady Vols raised the standard, and there's a lot more better teams now. And now South Carolina has the best program for women's basketball in the SEC. I see the Lady Vols as just kind of treading water. Yeah.
Jimmy Hines.
I say on decline, and 3 reasons. You mentioned one of them. Players not listening to the head coach. That's a concern. Also, this is a horrible shooting team. Their 3-point shooting accuracy has been awful. And the third thing is the effort of this team has not been very good. So if you've got those 3 things going against you, I think you're on the decline.
All right, let's take a look at the numbers here. I thought this was interesting. Pat Summitt's last 4 years, Holly Warlick's first 4 years, almost identical. Overall winning percentage, 81 for Summit, 80 for Warlick. SEC winning percentage a little better under Warlick. Both of them have 2 SEC titles. Pat Summitt won 2 more SEC tournament titles. Each had one Sweet 16, 2 Elite Eights, 0 Final Fours. Pat Summitt had an exit in the first round. We'll see what happens with Holly Warlick this year. So there's your numbers. Let's go on. Let me put up some more numbers. Well, you took that down because I threw you, Cruz. I'm sorry. Cruz is our director who I mess up every week. There we go. We talked about this on Bowl Selection Sunday, that Tennessee didn't get great bowl ratings last year. And I pointed this out because in the past, bowls made their selections very much based on who would travel to the town. The paradigm has shifted. Now these bowls are looking at TV contracts and corporate sponsors who want big TV ratings. It's all about TV now. So you need to have good ratings. If you look way down at the bottom of that list, you see Tennessee did not get good ratings. 2.8 million people watched the Outback Bowl on average. That's what you had. Now they were up against the Fiesta Bowl, a 9.7, and the Citrus Bowl, 8.4, Florida and Michigan. We talked about it that day. We said, look, Florida is a state that has big markets, huge population. Tennessee does not, so that's not going to help you. But I think it also shows, to date, Tennessee doesn't have that name recognition that it probably did in the in the 90s and the early 2000s. Looks like you're getting back to that point. Your coaches are starting to see that you've got that reputation. But from a television perspective, those aren't great numbers to see in terms of bowl selections next year. The good news is if Tennessee lives up to expectations and wins 10 or 11 games, you may take it out of the bowl's hands and get some of those big boy playoff type bowls in there. All right. When we come back, Alabama versus Clemson tomorrow night. Will the SEC win its first national title in 3 years? It's been a long, long drought. Come on back, we'll discuss.